We've already uncovered every Easter egg in the original trilogy, now it's time for the prequels. Here is every Easter egg in the Star Wars prequel trilogy that I could find. In The Phantom Menace, just before Qui-Gon Jinn destroys decades of fans' Force enthusiasm by talking about midi-chlorians, you can see a spinner from Ridley Scott's Blade Runner fly by. In Watto's scrapyard, there's a wrecked Eva pod from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Also in Watto's junk shop is a neat little bit of foreshadowing. In the background you can see the empty shell of a protocol droid with its leg missing, similar to how C-3PO appears in A New Hope, although it's his right leg in Episode 4 and his left leg in Episode 1. So I think it's safe to assume George Lucas wasn't implying Anakin Skywalker built C-3PO.
Protocol droid to help Mom.
There's a subtle bit of slapstick during the pod race where the pit droids make the sign of speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil. Also during the pod race, Jabba's slave has exactly the same outfit as Leia has in Return of the Jedi. God, I hope they washed it. Episode 1 also includes the standard Star Wars reference to THX-1138 with the number on the back of this battle droid. And here's the Wilhelm scream. Among the Wookiees and whatevers in the Senate, you can see 3 ETs among the delegates. You also briefly see a Twi'lek senator and his aides. That one is played by costume designer Trisha Bigger. Weirdly, in the original theatrical version, the aides were humans, played by concept artist Ian McCaig and ILM president Chrissy England. But for the DVD and later Blu-ray, they were replaced by these Twi'lek ladies, including Trish. So, 2 cameos replaced by 1. Strange. Speaking of cameos, The Phantom Menace is filled to the brim with them. We all know Keira Knightley was cast as the Queen's double, but did you also know that director Sofia Coppola plays another of the handmaidens? George Lucas's daughter is the voice of Tae Hao.
There'll be a problem with the main reactor.
In the credits, she's called Tiger. You can see Katie Lucas among Anakin's friends on Tatooine, she's the one with the braces, and she also appears in the bar in Episode 2, and at the opera with George in Episode 3. That's Mark Hamill's son as a guard. Jake Lloyd's sister Madison is standing behind him in the closing ceremony. And those 3 gents are editor Paul Martin Smith and sound designer, editor Ben Burt and producer Rick McCallum. And that's Dan Madsen grabbing the reins. He's the founder of the Star Wars Insider magazine and was president of the official Star Wars fan club. There's also Lorne Peterson, ILM's chief model maker and Academy Award winner. That's Warwick Davis enjoying the race with Watto. Animation supervisor Rob Coleman and Amanda Lucas, I think, are behind the huts here. And although she's fictional, there is a nice cameo from the Expanded Universe's Aura Singh. And visual effects supervisor John Knoll is killed in the final battle. In the credits, Jabba the Hutt is listed as playing himself. This one's more of a goof than an Easter egg, but in this shot you can see that Amidala's dress with the glowing globules isn't very portable. There's the power cord right there. And is it just me, or does that sculpture look a little bit like the Maltese Falcon? In a nice little bit of attention to detail and plot, you can see Darth Maul's probe droid fly behind Qui-Gon Jinn in the scene before it alerts Maul, and then he goes and attacks them in the desert. And have you noticed how Darth Maul is so intense he never blinks, except when he dies? Blink and you'll miss an X-Wing being pursued by TIE fighters on Coruscant in Episode 2. I don't know how they got there, they must have travelled through time in a slingshot around the sun. Oops, wrong franchise, sorry. When Obi-Wan and Anakin chase Zam into the bar, the left-hand screen is showing gameplay from Star Wars Episode 1 Racer on the N64. That's Ahmed Best, aka Jar Jar Binks, standing next to Katie Lucas, and that's C-3PO himself, Anthony Daniels.
You wanna buy some death sticks?
You don't want to sell me death sticks.
The guy trying to sell Obi-Wan death sticks is Matt Doran, who played Mouse in The Matrix. In The Matrix, Mouse designed the woman in the red dress, played by Fiona Johnson, who appears in Episode 2 giving Anakin a seductive look. There's also a quick appearance by 2 Corellian freighters on Naboo. I can't tell whether or not one of them is meant to be the Millennium Falcon, but you can definitely see the Millennium Falcon docking on Coruscant in Episode 3. It's almost impossible to see, but those LED displays on the back of the Clone Troopers' helmets actually do say THX-1138. And there's a lovely little nod to the clumsy stormtrooper from A New Hope when Jango bumps his head getting into Slave One. The design of the Jedi Archives is inspired by the library in Trinity College, Dublin. In Trinity College, the busts are of notable alumni, but in the Jedi Archives, it's the Lost 20. Most of the busts are actually modelled on crew members, including the visual effects supervisor and George Lucas. The boy who speaks to the archivist is Jet Lucas, George Lucas's son. His character is actually called Zet Jukasa, and he appears in Revenge of the Sith too. He dies. Lol. There's also a cameo from fight choreographer and general lightsaber waving expert Nick Gillard as a Jedi in the arena battle. And you can see the shadow of Jango Fett's head flying out of his helmet in this shot, which makes this shot make a lot more sense than it first appeared. Attack of the Clones is dedicated to Steve Bell. He was a digital artist who died in a car crash. He had worked on painting the starships in the Battle of Geonosis. Wilhelm scream. And again in Episode 3. In the minute-long opening shot of Episode 3, this bit of debris is actually a kitchen sink. Insert lazy appliance joke here. The pilot of Tantive 4 is actually Jeremy Bulloch, the man behind Boba Fett's helmet in the original trilogy. And there isn't actually an explicit 1138 reference in Revenge of the Sith, but in the canon, it's the call sign of Clone Commander Bakara who kills Ki-Adi-Mundi in the Order 66 montage. When Anakin is lying on the medical table, the shot from above shows the Imperial logo with him in the center of it. Clever, that. Look out the window behind Anakin and you can see a NASA space shuttle flying over Coruscant. The opera scene has loads of cameos besides the big blue Lucases. The boxes either side of Palpatine and Anakin are seating visual effects producer Janet Lewin, animation supervisor Rob Coleman, and VFX producer Jill Brooks, and on the other side is VFX supervisor John Knoll, VFX producer Denise Ream, and visual effects supervisor Roger Guyett. Baby Luke and Leia, the twins in the film, are actually just one close-up of editor Roger Barton's baby. Little Aiden was 2 months old when it was filmed. Aww. One more little Easter egg. If you listen closely, you can hear a Tarzan yell when the Wookiees swing into battle on Kashyyyk. This is actually a reference to Return of the Jedi, when Chewbacca does the Tarzan call on Endor. Obviously, that was a Tarzan reference, because if Wookiees love anything more than Yoda and roguish smugglers, it's Tarzan. Phew! So, those are all the Easter eggs I could find in the prequel trilogy. There are a lot to go through. Did I miss any? I probably did. Please do let me know if I did in the comments below, and please tell me what's your favourite Star Wars prequel. Mine's actually The Phantom Menace, because screw you! If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and a share, and click right here to watch more of our Easter eggs videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.